Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Tuesday. I guess it's Tuesday, the 20th of October, 2020. Sorry, distracting. Lots of things going on. I am the amazing Super Chris, your host. My co-hosts, Andy Hall from the Laughing in Disbelief blog and Nokasuchi from the Rage channel here on the YouTube will be joining me in just a second, as well as Neil, the 604 Atheist. He's coming, and I believe he even has coffee. He's getting coffee. So we're going to do all that. And we're going to talk about Trump and the election and doomsday and blah, 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 blah. Right after this. Do you love Jesus? Do you love America? Do you love yelling at strangers? If you answered yes, then there is a new version of the good book for you. The All Caps Bible. The All Caps Bible has everything from the sacred text you would expect. God creates the world in 6 days. Noah saves bunnies from the great flood. Jesus preaches God's message in the Sermon on the Mount. However, the All Caps Bible levels up the message by putting everything in all caps. That's right, you don't have to go to church to hear God's message yelled at you. This Bible will yell at you while you're reading it. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Christians love the All Caps Bible. Here are a few reviews. Mason in Dallas, Texas says, I don't feel guilty anymore yelling at the Starbucks barista. Karen in Oklahoma says, Jesus' message of forgiveness is better when you yell it. And Tommy in South Bend says, who knew the little drummer boy was such a jerk? Buy the All Caps Bible right now and get a loudspeaker so you too can spread the good news. You get everything for a low, low cost of $89.99. All right. Thank you to Andy Hall for that commercial. That's one of my faves, the All Caps Bible. He wrote it, I voiced it, and we did the thing at the place. We're going to do more of that stuff in the future because it's awesome. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Chris.
Good morning.
Is it? I guess it is. We'll go with good morning.
Well, it's a start.
It's a start. Yes, that's
right. A start. It is a start. You doing okay so far? So far,
so good. So what?
Okay, so far, so good. So what? Awesome. Nakasuchi, El Rajo.
Hey, good morning. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. You were saying that, you were like, oh man, I had the cooties and, I got the cooties and it's, it was always a little rough, but it wasn't so bad. And then you're like, oh man, it's like had a resurgence of the cooties. And I was like, oh man, that's unfortunate. I hope you get to feeling better.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, the last couple of days have been fairly rough, but I do feel a bit better this morning. I can breathe a little easier. So hopefully it'll be back to getting healthy again.
Wonderful, wonderful. Glad to hear that. I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Good morning to the damnation. Derek Cruz. Good morning, Derek. Urbinch. Critical Cripple. Dave. Good morning, Dave. Lady Starfire. Cindy Plaza is here. Cindy's got her own channel. Dave's got his own channel. Go check out their channels. I guess both of you guys feel free to put your links if you'd like. Randolph Richardson. Good morning, Randolph. How you doing, buddy? We've got to get you back on the show. It's been a day or three. Neil, the 604 Atheist, who occasionally does dance upon into our chat, is actually going to be here live in a few minutes. He had to go get coffee. We would not want Neil without coffee. That would be unfortunate for everyone. So he's off getting coffee. He'll be joining us in just a minute. So Phil Lister, good morning. Jess M, the Rage, of course, nice to have the Rage with us. JJ Del Angel, all you wonderful people. Lady Starfire, nice to have you all with us. And of course, the people listening on YouTube, Facebook, and the Daily Atheist Morning Show podcast. I hope you guys are all doing wonderful. I've posted links in both of those situations, so if you want to pop over and join us in the chat on YouTube, feel free, click those links and come over and join us on the YouTubes in the chats. So, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
We've got 2 weeks until the fall of an empire.
2.
Sort of. It's like, that was like history will look back on 2 weeks from today for a long time.
I think so. Like I get nervous with each day. Each day we get closer, I get more and more anxious.
Yeah.
Yes.
the future will look back on us with a face palm, with multiple face palms. They'll be like the Hindu gods with multiple palms facing themselves. Is that the word? Palming themselves.
Yeah.
That's how the future will look upon us.
Or they'll look upon us as this is the time we defeated fascism.
Yes. So that's what actually one of the things, this is going to be very interesting. And I'm going to give an air hug to Andy, my buddy Andy. Met him a few months ago. We've been kind of running a few months ago. And now in a couple of weeks, Andy and I are going to run a live stream. And hey, Andy, let me ask you, brother, what were you doing when the airplanes hit the buildings in 9/11? Do you remember where you were?
Oh, yeah. I was actually doing a training for my job. It's called medication administration training. Because, I was working with people who have disabilities. And so you have to know how to, give them the appropriate medication. And I heard it on Howard Stern. I was driving to this training and I was listening to Howard Stern. And, he had one of his crew nearby. And he called in. It's like, a plane just hit. Right. And it's like, this can't be a bit. Because, you know what bits Stern's going to do and what bits he's not going to do. So I went over. I checked out all the other radio stations. Nothing whatsoever. And it's like, all right, I guess I'm listening to my prime news source this morning, Howard Stern.
Yeah. Hey, Nokasuchi, where were you, brother?
I was at home. I remember coming down and turning on the TV, going to make my coffee. I come back out and I see a building on fire, smoking. I see that it's CNN, but like I'm still asleep. My brain is like, this is HBO. And as I slowly start waking up, I realize, no, this is CNN. And at that moment, the second plane, I watched it live, flew into the tower. I call my girlfriend, like, hey, I knew immediately we're under attack, so I called my girlfriend, made sure that, because she was in school at the time, she was in class, left her a message like, hey, check out the news as soon as you can. I remember it vividly.
something was amiss. I was at work in a small oil field shop in Odessa, Texas, and we heard it on the radio first, an airplane. I thought it was a little airplane, and then I remember as the day went on, we learned more and more about what was going on. I knew exactly where I was, and as I'm looking into the chat here, it seems like everybody does. They all know where they were when this went down. Let me just read out a couple here. Cindy Plaza was teaching young recruits in the French army. Let's see if I can see other ones here. I'll try to throw them out there as we go forward. But that's what's going to happen in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have one of those days where I'm going to look back for the rest of my life. And they're going to ask me, where were you doing? Where were you on this day? And what were you doing? And I would be going, on that day, I was with Andy Hall live streaming on the internet.
It's going to be a crazy show.
Fascism.
It's going to be a crazy show. We're going to have people popping in and out. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Ohio, in Florida, and all the other crazy states that are these battleground states that either Trump has to win or Biden has to win. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna. I'm supposed to be the woman running for Senate or Congress in Amasha's seat, Hillary. I'm supposed to be at her party, either her victory party or her concession party. But because of COVID, and I can go back at the 29th. Now, if I have to work, I'm going to actually go to work and miss the party. But that's where I'm supposed to be if I'm not working on the 3rd, is at her party and watching the results as they come in.
Okay. Well, the thing Andy and I are planning on doing is going to be a multi-hour show, and we're going to have links out to other people and people like you. If you want to pop in for a little bit and then just pop out and pop in and pop out, feel free. If you go to that event, if you happen to be at your event, use your phone. If you want, pop in, give us a little update of what's going on in the craziness in your world.
Oh yeah,
feel
I'd love
free,
to.
Brother.
And I'm hoping to still have the night off, but again, if I can work, I really need to work because I haven't been working at all.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I got a couple questions here. Randolph Richardson asks, on 9/11, or he says on 9/11, I was with a stockbroker, and we thought it wasn't real when we first saw it on his TV. See, everybody seems to remember where that was, and like I say, one of those moments in history is coming. I remember the night Donald Trump was elected. What I remember the most about that was Rachel Maddow's face changed throughout the night as she realized that he was winning.
I watched the Young Turks and they were crying.
Oh yeah. Critical Cripple asks, for those of us not from the U.S., when will we have an answer? You mean to the election? For those of us in the U.S., we don't know.
We don't know.
We suspect it'll be such a blowout that on the night of the election, you'd be like, there's no way. There'll be uncounted votes and stuff like that. But usually, during the election, by the end of the election, in general, there can be some hanging chads or some contesting things. But I think in this particular instance, it's going to be such a blowout. There's not going to be a lot of question.
I hope so. I think that's what has to happen in order to have a clean night, a blowout.
Yeah, indeed.
And I mean, outside of election tampering, I gotta say, man, I learned things about my country over the past couple of years. Things I always knew. I guess I always knew it was there. I just didn't want to admit it. And now I gotta say that if Trump were to legitimately win this election, I don't think this is
my big
my
learning moment for the country came
that night. Critical Cripple.
When actually Obama became president, because I remember mowing my lawn maybe a couple of weeks before Obama became president, and I'm going, how did white people get in charge of everything? This is how naive I was. I'm looking at other dopey white guys in my neighborhood doing their thing, and I'm going, how did this happen? We're such a bunch of just goofs. And then Obama became president, and I saw the reaction and go, oh, that's how.
That's it.
That's how that happened.
Neil is here. The Neil.
What's up, brother?
The Neil?
The Neil, not a Neil.
Not just a Neil. Like, I am the amazing Super Chris. There are many Chris's out there, but there are only one. There is only one amazing Super Chris.
I just want to officially go on the record saying that I hate you all because you're taller than me. Every freaking single one of you.
How tall are you, Neil?
We're just more evolved, Andy.
I'm vertically. You're just vertically challenged, is the deal.
Vertically challenged. That's it.
You can't.
I'm 6'4", so
yeah. I'm just under 6'4", 6'3", and some change. So
I put my boots on. I'm 6'5" and a bit.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm 6'5", flat-footed, no shoes on. So,
Randolph Richardson, great comment. Shakes fist at sky at highest. Yeah, from far away though.
Yeah. Very nice.
The bat lift. Yeah, when it goes down, Randolph. When it goes down, man, I have got like a package of 12, 10, because I ate 2 of them yesterday, of these little frozen burritos, and they're in the freezer for emergency rations, and then I got my bat list. So whenever things go down, I'm prepared. I can hold out for like hours, minutes.
I ordered my leather outfit 2 weeks ago. It should be here by election day. So,
gotcha.
I'm gonna go Mad Max on the masses election day.
Excellent.
There you go.
Leather outfit, spicy.
Just no time for romance. Well, I don't know. Okay, so 2 weeks from the end of the world. There's no better time than now. Get her done. Anyway, so good morning, everybody. What's that?
It better not be the end of the world. They got a show on the 11th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's the veteran show. I've got Kenneth. What the hell's his name? Fuck, I hate it when I can't remember shit.
I don't know. I'll have to.
Kenneth Leonard.
Kenneth Leonard. Oh yeah, Kenneth Leonard, the lawyer guy. Leonard.
He's next veteran. So we're doing. It's on the 11th of November here in Canada. It's Remembrance Day, so he's going to be my guest for that. We're going to talk about that kind of shit too. So there you go.
Nice.
Kenneth is awesome. He's a lot of fun.
And real quick for the chat, you weren't here, Ethan. I'm feeling a bit better today. Thank you for the concern. He reached out to me yesterday and asked how I was doing, and he knew I was doing a bit worse. So yeah, I'm a bit better today. Thank you.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Nokasuchi has the cooties. So if you might want to stay back a little bit from your speakers.
Yeah, I'm wearing my mask, guys. I'm wearing my mask.
Good. I asked him the first time he had it, I asked him to please put an N95 over his microphone. I don't know if he does or not, but that'd be like, you're supposed to be looking out for us, right?
Yeah.
It's not about you. That's why we wear our mask. Anyway.
Should I go get mine? Like, should I be wearing mine? I don't know.
You're in Canada. We know that you guys are immune to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that breeding with mooses that gives you the immunity, is what I've heard.
Oh, you guys finally found out about that, huh?
We did. It explains the height.
Yeah.
All right. So far in our poll, here's what we've got going on for a poll. Will a majority of the GOP abandon Trump before the election, or are they all in? They all go down with the ship. So far we have 5 votes for they'll stick by him to the end. I think there's quite a few of them that are gonna. I think possibly a majority will stick by them. Somebody says out like rats, and we didn't really come up with a good medium. There's no medium. You can't really go, well, some will and some won't. Put that in there because that's just a win-all question, So it's like a majority. Do you think a majority will go with him, or I think a majority are going to stick with him because they're corrupt, either corrupt, bought out, being blackmailed, and one reason or another, they are not going to deviate from whatever Trump says. I'm gonna vote myself because I can't.
They're team players, Chris. That's what they are. They're team players.
There you go. I think I think that Trump is down to just like the conspiracy theory nuts at this point. I'm going to be covering one today on my show. I'm hoping that, but the scary thing about that is that's about 30% of the country.
And that's a very motivated 30% too.
That's the scary thing. I mean, that's what we were talking about earlier, that thing which I've recently learned about my nation. Hey, Neil, where were you, brother, whenever the 9/11 thing happened? Where were you?
I was at home when I was living in Ladner, and I remember sitting on the couch, and I was just turned the TV on, waiting for the coffee to brew, and all of a sudden I heard this breaking news, and I'm like, ooh, what's this all about? And then I was over TV, and I'm like, holy fuck, what? So I was like, is this fucking reality? And it just blew me away. And I couldn't stop watching TV for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah.
I was switching between Fox News, believe it or not, when I wanted to get some of my emotional anger out. And then when I wanted to know what was really going on in the world, I switched over to BBC News.
Actually wrote a song after that based on that event. So yeah.
Really? Yeah. So it was one of those moments that you'll never forget. See, that's what we were talking about before you got here, is that in 2 weeks, Dos Weekos, we're going to have the election. 2 weeks from today, we're going to have the election. And that's going to be one of those days, I suspect, that most people will remember. They'll ask you later, hey, Neil, what were you doing for the election? And you'll be able to remember quite vividly, I was doing this for the U.S. election.
Shitting in the shitter.
There you go. Well, matter of fact, Andy and I are going to be doing a several hours long show that day, a live show, kind of covering the election. And we suspect we'll have open invites to other people like yourself and Nokasuchi to just pop in for a little bit at a time and kind of update us on what's going on.
Both of you should be eating those orange push-up popsicle bars the whole show. And had that orange, lip ring going on.
So, I was just thinking that I should have some kind of, some kind of Gallagher Sledge-O-Matic thing with oranges.
Yeah.
Orange.
We're eating the orange today,
Yeah. Well, again, it's just it's all woohoo. We're going to be dancing and singing and all this stuff, but it may not be
crying.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just looking at state polls.
Positivity. We're not going to be crying. We're not. Yeah,
right. We should all be positive.
Polls.
The state polls are not as rosy as you would think. There's still a lot of. It's very close in Florida. It's actually gotten a little bit closer over the last couple of days, as you would expect as the election gets closer. So,
what do you expect from the penis of the U.S., right?
It really is the flaccid penis of that.
Yeah. It's not even up going, hey.
No, it's not. It is. Well, it makes sense with all the elderly folk down there. You know.
This is true.
Of course.
So 538 still calls the election for Biden, of course, and heavily so. But when you dig into the numbers a bit, into the states, definitely states that are quote unquote going to go blue, like Florida, North Carolina. It's not a done deal in those states. Definitely. In Ohio, it went from blue to light red. So it goes back and forth. So it's definitely not a done deal.
See, so here's the deal, though. Normally in situations in past elections, whenever the night came and the results are coming back in, we're like, yay, we're all skipping and dancing because we all know ahead of time they're going to win. And we're like, yay, and we're going to win. And that's what we're kind of looking forward to tonight and in a couple of weeks. Yay, the polls, and 528 says he's going to win. So, yeah, he's going to win. Yay, he's winning. And then, normally at some point late in the evening, depending on how bad the one guy is losing, there'll be a guy come out and he'll do this, what they call a concession speech.
There's no concession speech here. No.
That's not going to happen this time. There's going to be the election was rigged and we're not going to give up power. That's what we're going to be covering. Election night. That's what I fear. And then we're going to have this deal of governors who are going to be peeling off with Trump and also refusing to leave office as they are also. Wow. That's what I see happening. It's not going to be one of those quick, funny elections and we're all skipping around dancing. It's going to be different.
Well, yeah, and I think it's tightening up for a couple of reasons. You have the whole, what Russia's trying to do with the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden thing, but they're actually pushing that Joe Biden's going to repeal the Second Amendment as if he could do that, and people they believe it. Like, oh no, gotta protect my guns.
My guns.
Are they really? Because we had Obama. And we had 8 years of they're coming for your guns.
Yeah, and they're doing it again.
For their guns. Yeah. And people, surely they're not still falling for that. That's the last thing they've got to do.
He can't even do it. It's in the Constitution. It is so hard to change the Constitution.
But just like I said before, you would be surprised what Trump could do. If Trump somehow wins this election, by the time the next election, he will be overturning the amendment that prevents him from running for election again. And people say, no, he won't do that because he's got to have all these governors from all the states. Look at the poll we've got running, which is asking, will these governors go down in fire with Trump or not? Will they? Will they also vote 4 years from now to allow an amendment to the Constitution to remove the restriction on presidents of running two elections, two terms?
I mean, at this point, it's really it becomes a question about whether or not important people and powerful people within the Republican Party are going to make a mad dash to fascism. Basically, this is what it boils down to.
And they are.
And if they can get a core group of people to make the dash, then they'll make the dash if they feel like they can get away with it. And
I've been saying, I've been saying. You want to say something, Neil? Because we're all crazy Americans. What are your thoughts?
You're crazy, man. I'm a crazy Canuck, so it's okay. I just wanted to say
to the apologize for saying that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Eh? I'm just gonna go jump up on my roof. And, I don't know what the fuck
carry on, sir. Carry on. I'm kidding.
I just wanted to address the chat. Watch what I'm doing right now. See here. This is the like button right here. I need you to go down there and tap that like button like I just did.
There you go. See, thank you. Lead by example.
Right, exactly. No, don't follow me. I'm not a good example. I might lead you into places where you're going to wake up in the morning with handcuffs on and go, what the fuck happened now?
So what do you guys suspect? What kind of shenanigans do you anticipate we will see betwixt now and the election? And what we can do is we can play this little game of, I can say that because I usually win these. I can say I said he would be threatening to imprison his political opponents. Ding, ding, ding. That should be like on a bingo card or something. Prison. So, that's kind of my thing. What do you suspect? And you can also take up mine too if you also believe that it's possible he may continue to press the issue of arresting his political opponents. What kind of shenanigans do you guys think is going to happen betwixt now and the election?
Oh, I could give you a quick little answer here. This is what Canadians look like during your guys' election time.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
It's going to be good.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't think that he'll arrest them before the election. I think that he will definitely arrest people if he is reelected. Oh, yeah. But I think we're going to see a lot more of the Hunter Biden stuff coming out. Like the fake computer that was in the pro-Trumpers shop and the video camera just magically didn't work. So we're going to see a lot more of that as we get closer, I think, to election day to try to swing the vote.
Yeah, so far it hasn't that hasn't helped him. Though those things have just seemed to backfire. Matter of fact, it's taken this huge bright light and shined it upon Rudy Giuliani shined it upon.
Is that a word? I don't know.
It's shined. I think it's shined.
It shined.
Yes. Rudy Giuliani's connection with these Russians.
Yeah, I don't see how Giuliani's not in jail yet. Like in any other Justice Department, this man would be in jail.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we need to have a cleanup. Whenever if this election and we get a full blown sweep from the Dems. Now, Andy's always saying they won't do that because they're then setting themselves up to be arrested and charged later. But this next, we need to investigate all these politicians. They need to all be investigated. This Trump stopped that from happening, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I think we should. I think that there should be an investigative panel across the board, right, left. It doesn't matter if you were partaking in the festivities the last 4 years. So even if you're barking publicly, but behind the scenes you're hand in hand with Trump or what they were doing, if it was illegal, then I think they should all be punished. Bring the hammer down.
I've had my own little suspicions about how the left is actually the leaders of the DNC are actually in cahoots with Trump. They're putting up a fight, sort of. They're like, oh, we did our best, but they just bowled us over, right? Is that not what happens?
I don't know, man, but the bat lip behind your head kind of makes you look like a moose to me right now.
It
does. I'm all right with that.
Not the first time Chris has heard this.
Yeah, I had a suggestion. If you guys want, I can grab a bunch of my Canadian big-ass friends and we can ride down there on a bunch of huge mooses with hockey sticks and start beating up everyone in the White House for you if you want.
I like that idea. I like that.
Well,
Canadian.
You know what? I got to tell you though, thankfully here in the United States, we have the Second Amendment of the Constitution. So that allows us to have these small militias, these people who feel like they need to protect our nation, and they are going to rise up and save us from this fascist pig who is overthrowing our nation. Oh, wait. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're on his
Your
side.
Military
Whenever he loses the election and says, I'm not going to leave power, they're going to be the backup that he's going to call for militarily, besides the Betsy DeVoe private military police. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I talk about whenever we're talking about adjusting the Second Amendment. There's reasonable people out there who it's guns. I'm not completely against guns.
The NRA specifically went on a lobbying blitz during the 70s and the 80s to redefine what the legal definition of what the Second Amendment actually says. There was a little revolution within the NRA, and then about switching the operational definition of what the Second Amendment means, and then they just made this radical push, which has now become what everyone just assumes what the Second Amendment means. Professor Alan Lichtman wrote a book on getting rid of the Second Amendment, and he was on my channel like maybe 6 months ago. You can check it out on my channel about how the NRA basically co-opted the Second Amendment for its own purposes. Right. I'll throw the link down in the chat.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about that.
Just going to quick thank you to Crazy Catnip, who just wished me happy birthday in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Neil. I put it on your Facebook timeline, but now that I have you here, I can wish you a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I hardly ever go on Facebook. Fuck.
Yeah.
But thanks.
You're not a Facebooker. Thank you, Ian Davenport, for the $5 Australian of support with the sticker, the ha 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 sticker. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. So I want to mention, guys, we have got look down in the description below. You'll see Ronnie's Nokasuchi's links, and there is a link to PayPal. If you can, feel free to support Ronnie.
That's all right. You're my friend. You can call me Ronnie Chris.
Why did that where did that come from? I don't know where it came from. Anyway, but his unemployment has not been helpful and could use some help. I didn't want to mention it at the beginning of the show because we didn't have as many viewers as we go through. But if you can afford it, if you got some dollars that you don't mind throwing to Nokasuchi's cause, help him pay his rent, help him feed his kid.
I appreciate
he only has to feed her like once a week.
Yeah, but Nancy Pelosi kind of screwed me. It had they pushed they pushed the stimulus through, then unemployment would have been more than enough. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. So,
well, hopefully that'll change with time. But between now and then, I thank you again for another.
Yeah,
he's got the little sticker. Thank you. Yes. But yeah, if you guys don't mind, if you've got some spare coin, go throw it at Nokasuchi. He could use it at least coming up for this next rent period because just government's a douche. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I gotta make it through this month. I go back to work on the 29th, so I'm almost there. Yeah.
For those people out there who think the whole government and the extra $600 a month thing, when I got unemployment, it said you're going to get unemployment this X amount of dollars between now and next year, and I started getting X amount of this by this amount every week, and then when that extra $600 came, it actually started coming off the top. So what happened was, I ran out of unemployment much sooner than I would have. I got nothing extra from the government. There was nothing extra that come on. That was the experience of a lot of Americans. So those people, so I got nothing more than I would have gotten anyway from unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
So this notion that the government suffered for me.
What angers me? I want to talk about what angers me for a little bit, as against to what angers everyone else. I want to talk about what angers me, and that's about the nonprofit charitable commercials that I watch on CNN. Hear me out. Hear me out on this.
Okay.
Every 5 minutes after watching Dr. Sanjay Gupta grind his teeth while he's talking, and I don't know how he can do this. I don't know how, they have Sanjay Gupta coming out talking about Dr. Fauci, talking about Trump, cursing out, Dr. Fauci on the campaign trail, and Gupta's trying to put a happy face on it all, but you can almost hear the grinding of his teeth as he talks. Mm-hmm. Cut to commercial, nonprofit, we're trying to save America, we're trying to help people, and every single time that goes on, I turn to my to my kids or to my girlfriend or whoever else is unfortunately sitting next to me or within earshot of me, and I go, this is the failure of the government to help the people of the United States of America. This is a failure. Right here, the idea that in a catastrophe, in an economic catastrophe, we are asking people to donate money to the less fortunate. When the government has all the money in the world, we have seen them be able to print money left and right in terms of wars, tax cuts for the rich, and yet we are at a point that these nonprofit charities are begging for money because that they are cratering right now as we speak. And it is disgusting. That's what it is. Yeah. It's freaking disgusting.
I agree.
I would like to know
I can't even.
Yeah, they'll bail out a bank, but they won't help the homeless, right?
What the F? What the F?
Yeah. They give money to rich people, and poor people can just starve.
Yeah,
I want to know, though, I'd like to know what it is. And we see this all the time between the left and the right, but I'd like to know why, because I don't know. I haven't gone and looked. I've been in my own little world. Why did Nancy Pelosi refuse it? Now, we can just kind of chunk out there, but we know that on both sides, they tend to lob in their own fat and things they want. Now, one of the things that we've been talking about is how many trillions of dollars have been dumped into the economy since this all started. Just in the past 6 to 8 months, how many trillions of dollars? Okay, don't answer that just yet. We don't have to, because how many of that did you get? I got like a $1,200 check. Where'd the rest of it go? It all went to Chevron and Exxon and all these
the
huge
LA Lakers.
Yeah. So if Nancy Pelosi had agreed and you still wouldn't have gotten the help because remember, I already told you about my experience with unemployment. You ought to go check it out on your own to see, is that where that extra money's coming from? Anyway, then is that the same thing that's going to happen this time? If she agreed to that, is that just going to be another huge shovel of money to big rich corporations and a trickle to little people? Then it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and in actuality, and I spoke on this the last time we talked about this, like they were going to get rid of the earned income tax credit for children, and that is, I mean, low income people rely on that money every year to get themselves ahead. So I mean, that would have destroyed our economy if they'd have done that.
The shameful thing is that the only thing we know about this is Nancy Pelosi yelling at that Wolf Blitzer guy on CNN.
Unfortunately,
as against her making a clear and cogent argument for her position. Instead, we have this like 5-second clip that gets played over and over again, and there are legitimate reasons why she didn't negotiate, why she stopped negotiating.
She should have said those, of course.
But and she could have said it in an entertaining and forceful way, but she did not do those.
She could have been a leader. She could have been the opposite of Trump in that moment. Instead, she went Trump. So.
That's a good point. That is unfortunate because that was the one time she could have really explained this is why. Now, of course, it was. We all believe, I believe at least that it was Mitch McConnell. He wasn't going to agree to anything anyway, and she should have just elucidated that to everybody.
Put the onus on him.
Absolutely. And now that's where it is again because it doesn't matter. He said that he's not going to support anything, and this really Mitch McConnell is the villain here, the biggest villain.
If there's an evil, it's Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, and we can. I think that if the Democrats won and they got everything they wanted, Nancy Pelosi would still be rich. She's not going to lose her money. She's always going to be rich. It's not like she's, oh no. So I've heard those people who go, oh, well, she doesn't want to win because she wants to protect her own interest. I don't really think that's necessarily true. I think because she's already rich and she'll stay rich. She's not going to be not rich because of her own political stuff. I just don't see that happening. That's just, I don't see that happening.
They've all fat in their pockets.
They do. Absolutely. No doubt. Can't argue that. Some of them, though, are just more about doing it at the expense of us. Because you can actually have a thriving economy. If you're a tick, it doesn't matter. You can have a thriving, healthy dog, or you can have a sickly, dying dog. They're all ticks. The ones on the left, in my opinion, are more about having a healthy, thriving dog to suck off of, and they're willing to feed that dog and help grow that dog. The ones on the right are willing to bleed that dog to death and kill everybody.
We have seen, and this is why I voted no in the survey. We've seen a couple Republicans step away. Right. So I think the closer that we get to election and the more like it hits them in the face, holy shit, we're going to lose. Trump is going to lose it for everybody. Right. We're going to see more and more of that. So I'm hoping that we see a mad dash back to sanity with the Republican Party and we can have a sane Republican Party again. I don't know, though. I think it's like 75% that won't happen.
I don't want to crap on your theory, Rage, but I'm going to say state it slowly.
You're saying don't mess with my optimism.
You're hoping for a mad dash to sanity by the Republicans.
Yeah, I know.
See how it works? It works when you say it slower. I see how that's an interesting technique.
Putting words together I've never seen together before.
Right. You would think it's like matter and antimatter, Neil. They just explode.
Right. Yeah, it's like a matter antimatter meeting there. And you guys are saying what's been your experience with unemployment? I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in. I slept in a lot more.
I think I think I slept more during that initial quarantine than I ever did in my life.
No wonder you're so perky.
If it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't have nobody to talk to outside of the wife and my dogs and the guy who serves me tacos through the drive-thru.
I'm sure what I'm hearing is that your wife should be sending us money to help, take the heat off.
Like a babysitter. True enough. Good morning. Remember Sammy Jenkins. Nice to have you with us. Lots of awesome folks have shown up today. Ronan is here this morning as well. Did I see Gabriel A has joined us. Flow State is here. Amy Hogan.
Stuck off.
Yeah. So, so some of us think he'll start doing the arrests. You know, what else? What other kind of craziness? Because, you know, I don't know.
Who knows when it comes from him? Who knows?
They already tried to gut the post office. I didn't see that one come. I mean, they were already like after the post office, like nip, nip, nip. I didn't realize they were going to walk into the post office with a sledgehammer and start destroying machines. Surprise, surprise.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Why?
they don't even
Why?
hide it. They just don't hide it anymore. The old Republicans used to hide it, and now they're just like, what are you gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know. Is it better that they're not hiding it? Because it's, you know, I mean,
It's
well,
only better if we
is,
win
but-
and we restore justice and we get to go after these people and bring them to justice. Otherwise, it's just corruption leads to more corruption leads to more corruption. And
For
that's
some
what we've
reason,
gotten
I'm
so
like
far.
really optimistic today because I'm hoping
Me
that
too.
that's like the lasting legacy of Trump is it exposed what politics really was. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you had this guy that wasn't a politician that came and, you know, blew everything up. So, I mean, it's been terrible, but if we can get rid of this guy, maybe hopefully we can learn our lesson. I don't know. I'm way too optimistic today. I need to smoke some weed.
Don't worry, dude. I'm here to help. I'm here to help right here. If I was Trump right now, what would I do for crazy stuff? I would blow up the Smithsonian. That's what I would do. I would blow up the Natural History Museum, tell my evangelical base, I'm doing it for Jesus. 6,000-year-old Earth, man riding T-Rexes and Stegosauruses. Yeah, I don't understand how they could ride a Stegosaurus, but that's what they did. I would blow up the Smithsonian.
You heard it
Allegedly.
here first, people. You heard
That's
it
what I
right
would
here. You heard it here.
Boom,
Yeah,
boom, 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 all at once.
That
Oh.
would secure the evangelical vote.
yeah.
And people would
No
be
matter
like,
how
you know,
many
I
people
like what he
die.
has to say. He's honest. He knows what he's gonna say.
Yeah. So, all right. So Andy's going for literally going militantly after science.
Yeah. In for a
Going
penny, in
after
for a pound.
science. Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, yeah. And I'm still sticking to my guns that he's going to continue threatening to imprison his political rivals because that's always fun. That doesn't scream fascist. And you know, that's the thing, man. The more things that he does that are move away from democracy, that threaten democracy, the more he does it, the more his group, his followers, his cult, who claim to be patriots, who love our nation, bastards, you know, some of them carry around the Constitution in their pocket kind of people. These are the same kind of people who support this guy. No matter how fascist he goes, same kind of people, far right-wing, ultra-patriot types who are threatening to kill city mayors because they have a mask mandate, because they ask you to wear a mask to protect your fellow citizen. That, my friends, is worthy of stepping up and kidnapping and revolting against the government, against your own nation. Mask mandates. That's what's worthy of such things.
Neil.
Quick reply for the chat. Russell Franklin, I guess, said atheists are such pussies, and my response is, Russell, you are what you eat.
Ooh,
There you go.
Yeah, not a bad insult considering some of the Christians I deal with. So.
Yeah.
I seem to miss it. I missed it. Sorry, I missed that one.
So Neil, is there a mask mandate where you are?
Is there a mask mandate? Yes, there is. Most, like, you can't go to, like, say, a Walmart or a most restaurants will say, please have one until you're at your table and in your own little table bubble, because they block off every other table now, so they keep everyone separate in the restaurant. And they do have a mandate for masks in a lot of public areas.
Right.
Yeah. And Russell's told me to put my finger down. Would you rather I put it somewhere else, Russell?
You know, I'm not seeing these things.
I can add it to these ones, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess somebody's blocked Russell. Don't worry about Russell. You know, the more you talk to him, the more attention you give him.
Yeah.
You know, the more they.
He's the one that has to come on here and start bitching. So who's the real bitch? Right? So,
Wow. Hey.
Well, you know, I would think that for most Christians, it would be a sin to watch a bunch of atheists talk about politics. You know, go watch your own, dude.
Well, you know,
I love the Christians. Watch me all the time.
We admittedly made a shift a few weeks ago about openly. We said, this is the Daily Atheist Morning Show, but politics is such a thing. And we're all kind of left-leaning individuals. So we're going to switch to politics and we're going to go about this thing. Nowadays, Christian friend, can you not agree on the topics we're talking about when it comes to socialism and fascism? Not socialism. We haven't even mentioned socialism, but fascism and what's going on in a nation and the antics Trump is pulling. How can you deny that? We don't have to be on the same side when it comes to religion. Now we're talking politics. If your only main issue is that it's going to make the libtards mad, then you're just kind of a moron. And I don't care about your opinion. But if you're a real... conservative, and you really love our country, we don't have to. Just because we disagree about God doesn't mean we have to disagree about politics.
I always found it funny when I'm talking to Christians and we get into a political conversation and you're like, I want to help the poor and we should do this for the poor. And they laugh at you and call you a snowflake. And I'm like, this is part of your religion, kind of, right?
So, snowflakes make a Slurpee, all right? And I like Slurpees.
That's right. Or a blizzard, So
well, there are very few Christians who actually do what Jesus says and take up their own personal cross, because that's what you're supposed to be doing, basically. And Christianity is an end of the world kind of cult. Mm-hmm. The kingdom of God is here, right here.
All
and
the
right
Abrahamic ones are really.
Yeah. Pick up your cross and go do what you need to do. In a strange way, there's this strand of Hinduism that's much more in accordance with Christianity. The world renounces, where they're just like, I've given up everything to do with the world, and I'm just, really about my faith and doing what it's crazy. Don't get me wrong. They roll around in the dead ashes and everything, but they are serious people. And
Sanity,
Christians,
sanitation.
Christians in this country are by and large just, just like pedestrians. They're
You want to hit them with your car?
Well, I have a very old car.
I'm kidding.
And but they're not and I know this is the true Scotsman fallacy, but they're definitely not. Jesus would not recognize them as Christians.
That's not really a no true Scotsman fallacy. That's, if let's just for a laugh say if it was all true, he would come back and go, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He'd be, put your damn mask on.
Wash your fucking hands.
Hans Hansen says, pretty sure Jesus would never be able to pass border control into the U.S. Oh, no. Not in today's.
Good point.
They'd have him in a cage.
Middle Eastern prick trying to get in here with a robe on. Like, you got a fucking bomb under there? What's going on?
Go home, Muslim.
He'd be in a cage, sleeping on the ground with his little tinfoil mattress or little tin. Yeah.
Oh, like the space blankets they used to have. They fold up and little silver one. You whip out. It's like the size of a large tablecloth, and you fucking lie in there, and it keeps you nice and warm.
They are very effective. They are very effective. Those little NASA, reflectors.
I didn't mean actual tablecloth. I meant more like a table napkin, because they covered. You can put it here for a little while, then you got to put it on the lower part for a little while, then put it on the bigger part for a little while. Yeah.
Well, you get to make the heat that way, right? You get to make the body heat by moving.
I just fart under the blanket. Works for me.
Yeah.
A Dutch oven myself.
Keeping it classy, Neil.
You can count on me for that. You know that.
What I'm happy to say right here is that because Neil is hanging out with us Americans, not only has he cursed, done things. I feel that unfortunately we're a bad influence on you, Neil. That's what we are. We're just a bad influence on you.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's the other way around, and I would have agreed with you.
Okay.
I'm agreeing with you either way, but we Canadians just pretend to be friendly.
Oh,
just get enough Tim Hortons in us, and we're like, woohoo, swinging around, lacrosse sticks and hockey sticks, and throwing Canada geese your way because they're assholes and they bite and stuff.
You're bringing me. You're bringing me flashbacks of Misha Popoff now. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Reading Funk. Hey, good morning, John. How are you doing? He says he received his ballot in the mail. He says he thinks he's going to go vote in person, though. I get that. on November. Now, I wanted to mention, we were talking about what you're going to be doing. I guess that's what you're going to be doing November 3rd, is you're going to actually go vote. John, is that going to be a long line for you? Is that how you're going to remember what you did on that day, is standing in line to vote? I'm sure he'll. And, we may have John with us tomorrow. You going to be with us, John? John's in the chat, so he'll answer some shit. So.
Yeah, I will be voting in person now that I've had COVID. And
go breathe on all the fucking Republicans.
Yeah, yes. I'm gonna go, and I'm hoping to record if any poll watchers are there. And by poll watchers, I mean Trump rednecks trying to harass people.
Through my head.
So.
What I'm intrigued with is, how do you go? If you're in line for hours, how do you go to the bathroom? I mean, what's the system?
Easy. You get a bag you attach to the inside of your pant leg and just let it rip, man. It's like a catheter bag or whatever.
I vote where I vote is like this like mega church, so they have like 40 bathrooms in that freaking thing. It's crazy.
But I think the question that's kind of being asked is, do you say to the person behind you, "I'm going to go bathroom. You're going to hold my spot for me"? Is that how that works? And they do.
It would work here in Canada. We're not dicks, but yeah, I mean,
I better take some empty milk jugs with you. That's all I'm saying.
Here, Flow State's got the answer. She says, "Pee your pants." Duh.
Yeah. In Boston, in the Boston area, when it gets really snowy, there's a tradition that we put out the folding chairs, right, in our parking spots, and heaven forbid you park in someone's freaking parking spot, because things happen if you do. Things happen. So you can see it in Boston, right? I'm putting my chair here. Don't move my chair. I'll be right back.
I don't know. Here in Battle Creek, they destroy the chair.
Don't move my chair. I'll put a cap in your ass. Whatever the hell the expression is.
Things will happen.
That's more likely what would happen here in Michigan, because we're such an open carry state now. Everybody's got a damn gun everywhere. Yeah, they just take it out, like pointed at you. I'm coming back.
Well, one of the things, now that you mentioned that, Rage, one of the things me and Andy have talked about on the show before is, what level of violence are we going to see on the night of the election? And we both suspected we're going to see varying levels of violence, from the individual reports of people having problems and getting thrown out of election lines for doing bad things or whatever, to possibly even rival groups like white supremacists showing up in a black community near their polling group and engaging with a Black Lives Matter type of.
No,
we've talked about the range.
Like that doesn't happen.
We hope. But that's what they're setting up for. That's kind of what Trump is calling for whenever he calls for these poll minders to show up down there. And now, poll minding is not actually against the rules. There are certain things you got to do when you're doing it. But those are not the poll minders he's talking about, the poll watchers, I think.
Yeah, he's talking about the bikers for Trump.
That's right.
Boogaloo boys, Proud Boys,
Yeah. When you guys say poll watchers, every time you say that, I picture myself back in a strip club.
Oh yeah,
I picture Matt Powell.
Oh dear, that's kind of making me wonder a little bit.
Yeah, I wish that were
Matt Powell's poll. Wait, no.
Only on the Daily Atheist Morning Show.
Right.
Sorry, Chris, we kind of hijacked it there for a second.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I was distracted. Heck, I'm just driving the show. So who am I? I'm just the guy running the show. Ignore me.
Shit.
I know, right? Have you seen the video, Neil, that shows all the monitors and stuff that I got going on here?
Yes. Yeah. I was wow, it's impressive.
I've gotten more. There's even more now. I got more stuff going on. So
it is my birthday. You could ship a couple. I
got
a huge 65-incher right here, but it's 60. Listen to me brag.
How many birthdays have you had?
54 so far.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool. 54 spankings for Neil today. Happy birthday. Are we singing happy birthday? And a one. I'm not singing happy birthday.
Yeah. You don't want to hear me sing.
No, it's too early for that shit. What's wrong? My family will break my eardrums later, so it's okay. Especially my nephew.
Hans is talking about, was it? What's that? You're talking about
my nephew loves to scream it. Yeah, I was talking about my wiener. I call him my nephew, but no, my nephew likes to. He's like, what? Where did this go?
Yeah, I know, right?
You heard it right here. Neil the 604 Atheist actually closeted Catholic priest right here.
It sounded funnier in my head, but anyway.
Believe me, I'm well aware of that phenomenon, Neil. You know,
Yeah, no doubt.
it's funny when it came out, not so.
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
Not so funny. Not so funny.
We're like
It wasn't
a
as funny
lead
as when it went in.
Oh, hey.
So
See what you did there.
Remember, you steered your own show into the ditch.
Right.
No. I cast it. I was like, this summit is gone a long time ago. So yeah, Hanson was saying it's not something about folks in California, but yeah, in California, the GOP made their own ballot drop boxes, labeled them official drop boxes, despite being told by the election committee to remove them. They've declined. They're going to fight it somehow legally and try to. I mean, this is voter suppression in the open. Out, they just don't care anymore. There's absolutely don't care. It's.
Yeah, that's supposed to be illegal under California law, as far as I understand. But like nationally, I believe it's.
How are they not in jail? Yeah, how are they not in jail?
You can't in Canada. You cannot do fake ballot boxes. If that happens here, you are going to jail.
And they should be for every ballot that's dropped in those boxes, there should be
No counts.
An individual count against them. So if they have 15,000, there's 15,000 counts of voter fraud against whoever put that out. That's what they need to do.
So
These
Chris,
people need to never breathe free air again.
Chris, you want to drop the link for where we can help the rage out? Because remember, Sammy Jenkins asked for it in the chat.
I do. If you want to look below, you can look below in the description of the show. I'll pop down there myself and copy the link, but it's down there under Nokasuchi. It says that there's 3 little targets, and it goes to PayPal, and that will take you to his PayPal to donate at the place. I'm gonna post it again in the link here in the place. So if you guys can, I'd appreciate.
I'm gonna do it later on. I'll share some of my birthday money with my friend there.
There you go, helping out the Nokasuchi, and we need to. I want to Rage. If you got a minute after the show, I'd like to visit with you if that's possible. You got a minute?
Yeah, and thank you guys. I was talking with my daughter. Thank you guys. I'll definitely be able to hang out after the show. So.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap the show up, guys. We've done the hour. Thank you so much. Thank you to Andy for co-hosting and Neil for making it. Or not Neil. Not thank you for Neil. Thank you to the Rage for making it. Fuck Neil. The Rage for making it, even though you got the cooties.
Language.
Man. I didn't tell him before the show. So I was like, he done fucked it up. So you may as well. It doesn't matter. And thank you to Neil for showing up today. We appreciate you. We'll have the no cussing talk later.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
I usually tell people before the show, those who
they slip out of me every once in a while. Yeah, they slip out of me every once in a while. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Chris.
No, it's not. It is YouTube. It's not radio, but we have.
There you go, folks. Donate some cash. Help out the Raging Age.
Help out the Rage.
Thank you so much,
anything
Neil.
you can help. All right. See, now you can cuss all you want. You done bought your license to cuss. This video done been demonetized a long time. So, no, normally on the show,
piece of shit asshole, motherfucker.
That's right. Reminds me of home. I feel a beating coming on.
Oh, not funny. I should be laughing.
Don't judge me. You don't know where I've been.
So that $50, by the way, was about $375,000 Canadian that I just said.
Yeah. So if you can, people go over there and please help the Rage. He can use some coin. He can anything you can do. We'd appreciate that. So, Andy, you got anything else going on?
Well, actually, I believe this is one of the few times that Neil and I are on the same show together.
Oh yeah,
both of us are sober. And we're doing some drinking this weekend, as I understand it, Mr. Neil.
I think so. Yeah, I think what do we do around sometime in the afternoon over here on the Northern American continent there, and we kind of drink together and make fun of shit and talk about a little bit of politics, a little bit of atheism, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And all with a big bag of chips and some ranch dip, and it's a lot of fun.
So that would be 5 p.m. Eastern. I actually have Green Party candidate Howie Hawkins on at 11 a.m. And so we're going to be talking Green Party politics. I think I'm going on John Funk's channel today in like 15 minutes.
Sweet.
I got like a whole ton of crap going on, but
Awesome. Me too.
Feel free.
Once again, this is I believe I'm going to be able to remember our conversation as against to other conversations we've had on atheists drinking out loud. So yeah.
Yes. Should be a lot of fun Saturday, guys. So tune in, definitely.
Yeah.
And I may do a birthday stream later today, so look out for that.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. So, well, what else is I was going to ask? I was kind of just going through the people. Nokasuchi, do you have anything going on today?
Yeah,
Dying.
Yeah, probably around noon. I'll be reviewing a Mr. Rogers again. I call him Mr. Rogers. His name's Marcus Rogers. He's a Christian on YouTube, over 500,000 subs. He says that Trump has been fighting the Illuminati for 4 years. So I'm going to be reviewing that. Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, boy.
And then I'm going to have an open room tonight, and my ongoing saga with Smokey Saint continues. I've got 6 hours of conversation between me, Smokey, and a whole slew of characters: Brett Keane, Von Houghton, Mr. Batman, Veckel, that I'm going to be reviewing over the next month. I am promising myself no more conversations with Smokey Saint for at least 2 weeks. So,
yeah, dude, you got to recover from that. Yeah. No. He needs recovery time. More so than the fucking COVID shit you're recovering.
Yeah, dude, I have surrounded myself with pure stupidity for too long, and I've got to take a break. I've just got to take a break.
After a while, you're just like,
yeah. So yeah, that's what I've got going on. Today should be a fun one. Check it out if you're. I don't do politics often, but when I do, I try to be funny. So
awesome. And Neil, now we get to you, Neil.
All right,
I know.
I do you guys, I don't know, maybe not everyone that follows you knows what I do, but I do deconversion stories on my channel, and then usually follow up with an after party, which is a lot of fun. The after parties are they don't really have a time cap. We just go till I say, fuck this, I'm leaving. And then usually people end up hanging out and chatting with each other even after we're gone off. Mm-hmm. But I now have like a musical opening stuff and musical closing stuff. So it's a lot of fun now. Yeah. Look at me getting all technological.
Getting fancy like.
But yeah, I got a lot to. Well, tomorrow I usually have a show on Wednesdays. Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays is when I do my show. Mondays, Wednesdays are at 4:00. Saturdays at 6 p.m. But tomorrow I'm doing a blood donation and then going over to my mom's place and have a little pizza with her for my birthday. And then I'll be back Saturday, October 24th with Diogenes of Mayberry, and then Christian Armstrong on the Monday, and then Wednesday, Viced Rhino. So that one should be a lot of fun.
That'll be good. Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Close out October with Brainbug on Halloween. Sorry about that.
Oh,
cool.
No.
That'll be a good one too. I love Brainbug.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Brian's crawlies.
Okay.
Brian's a hoot. Yeah, I really enjoy him. He's a lot of fun. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining me today. Thank you to everybody in the damn nation for showing up and having fun with us. And the people watching on Facebook and to the people who listen on the Daily Atheist Morning Show podcast. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thanks for our birthday wishes too, guys.
Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, Ian Davenport and Cindy Plaza. Thank you and have a great day.